a troubling alliance, Egypt and Israel's growing ties. Egypt and Israel are becoming increasingly close allies. This alliance has significant implications for the Palestinian people. As Egypt prioritizes economic and security cooperation with Israel, it undermines the Palestinian struggle for freedom and self-determination. This alliance raises serious moral questions about Egypt's commitment to Palestinian liberation. Energy entanglements fueling occupation, ignoring Palestine. The complex web of energy politics in the Middle East is deeply intertwined with the region's ongoing conflicts and power dynamics. Egypt has become a major supplier of natural gas to Israel, a development that has reshaped the energy landscape in the region. This energy cooperation provides significant economic benefits to both countries, strengthening their economic ties and fostering a sense of mutual dependency. However, it also makes Egypt complicit in Israel's ongoing occupation of Palestinian territories, raising ethical and political questions. Israel uses this energy to power its settlements and military infrastructure, further entrenching its presence in the occupied territories. Meanwhile, Palestinians in Gaza suffer from severe energy shortages, living in darkness and struggling to meet their basic needs. This collaboration in the energy sector raises concerns about Egypt's priorities and its role in the broader geopolitical landscape. It seems that economic gains are taking precedence over supporting the basic needs of Palestinians, highlighting a stark disparity in the region. This energy deal is a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of economic interests and political choices in the region, illustrating how energy resources can influence and exacerbate existing conflicts. Booming trade, muted outrage, the economics of complicity. In a world where economic interests often overshadow ethical considerations, the relationship between Egypt and Israel stands as a poignant example. Trade between Egypt and Israel has been steadily increasing for years. This growth is evident in the bustling border crossings and the ever-increasing number of trucks transporting goods between the two nations. This economic relationship benefits Israeli businesses and strengthens the Israeli economy. The stock markets reflect this growth, and factories in Israel are busier than ever producing goods for export. However, it also normalizes relations with a state that continues to occupy Palestinian land and violate Palestinian rights. The ongoing protests and the imposing West Bank barrier are stark reminders of the unresolved conflict. Egypt's silence on these issues while engaging in profitable trade deals speaks volumes. The handshakes and meetings between officials highlight a prioritization of economic gains over addressing human rights violations. The increasing trade volume demonstrates a clear prioritization of economic interests over moral obligations. Cargo ships docking and the bustling commercial areas in Egypt are testaments to this growing economic focus. This economic cooperation undermines any leverage Egypt might have to pressure Israel towards a just resolution of the Palestinian issue. The scales of trade and justice seem to tip heavily in favor of economic prosperity. It sends a message that economic prosperity trumps human rights concerns. The juxtaposition of thriving commerce in Egyptian cities with the struggles of Palestinian communities underscores this troubling reality. Security cooperation enforcing the siege on Gaza. This cooperation is a complex and multifaceted operation involving various military and political strategies. Egypt and Israel cooperate closely on security matters, particularly in the Gaza Strip. This partnership is rooted in mutual interests and shared security concerns. Egypt plays a key role in enforcing the blockade on Gaza. The Rafah crossing is a critical point of control where stringent inspections are conducted. This blockade severely restricts the movement of people and goods. Essential supplies, including medical aid and food, are often delayed or denied entry. It has created a humanitarian crisis in Gaza, where Palestinians lack access to essential resources. Overcrowded hospitals struggle to provide adequate care, and children grow up amidst the ruins. Egypt's participation in the blockade makes it complicit in the collective punishment of Palestinians in Gaza. Protests frequently erupt, highlighting the dire situation and the urgent need for change. This cooperation with Israel on security matters directly contradicts any claims of supporting Palestinian self-determination. The presence of military vehicles underscores the heavy-handed approach to border control. It paints a picture of shared interests in controlling and restricting Palestinian movement and autonomy. Families wait for hours, sometimes days, hoping for a chance to cross the border, a stark reminder of the ongoing struggle for freedom and dignity. The Qualified Industrial Zones, or QIZ program, is a trade agreement between Egypt, Israel, and the United States. This program allows goods produced in designated zones in Egypt to be exported to the US with reduced tariffs. However, these zones often rely on Palestinian labor from Gaza, exploiting their vulnerability for cheap labor. The QIZ program further integrates the Egyptian and Israeli economies, intertwining them with the exploitation of Palestinian workers. While presented as an economic opportunity, it reinforces the power imbalance between Israel, Egypt, and Palestine. This program exemplifies how economic interests can perpetuate existing inequalities and injustices. Egypt's growing relationship with Israel raises profound moral questions. By prioritizing economic and security interests over the rights of Palestinians, Egypt is complicit in perpetuating the occupation. This approach undermines Egypt's historical role as a supporter of Palestinian self-determination. It is imperative for Egypt to recognize that true peace and stability in the region cannot be achieved at the expense of Palestinian freedom. Moral obligations should outweigh short-term economic gains. Egypt must choose a path that prioritizes justice and human rights for all. It is crucial for individuals and organizations concerned with Palestinian rights to hold Egypt accountable for its actions. We must demand that Egypt prioritize its moral obligation to support Palestinian freedom over its economic and security interests with Israel. We must raise awareness about the detrimental impact of Egypt's policies on the Palestinian people. Pressure must be applied on the Egyptian government to change course. This includes advocating for an end to the blockade on Gaza, supporting Palestinian self-determination, and bringing to bear its significant military capacity to enforce a solution on the belligerent occupying force of Israel. Egypt has the potential to play a constructive role in resolving the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. As a major regional power with historical ties to Palestine, Egypt can leverage its political and military force to pressure Israel to end the occupation and achieve a fully free Palestine from the river to the sea.